So here we are for question C. Back to B, first of all, we found out that the expression was going to be 9 times the number of people plus 20. It's very, very simple. Now it says, suppose the cost of food doubles. What's the expression for the total cost of the trip? Well, the cost of food is doubling. Here's the cost of the food, the 9. It was $9 per person. Well, that's going to now be $18. That's the only thing we change. We do 18 times P, which is 18 times the number of people. And notice the $20, the cost of renting the cabin, stays the same in that case. So we just have a new expression here. What about D then? D, suppose the cost of the cabin doubles. Okay, so if the cost of the cabin doubles, and we're assuming we've still doubled the cost of the food, it'd be 18p plus, in this case, it's $40 for the cost of the cabin. And very simply, why do we use P here in this situation? Well, P is short for people. It makes it easier to remember than using something like X. Let's move on to number 8. Each table shows patterns. Write an algebraic expression to describe how each output relates to the input. Well, let's look here for input X for A. So we have X is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have an output, and we know there's some expression here. When we do something to 1, it gives us 3. When we do something to 2, it gives us 6. We do something to 3, it gives us 9. When we do something to 4, it gives us 12. We're looking for something similar that's the same. Well, this one's pretty easy. If we simply multiply all of these by 3, that's going to give us the output. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12. So our output is X times 3. But we don't write X times 3 because that's bad form. Instead, we put the number in front of the variable and we get rid of the multiplication sign. So our output is 3x, which means 3 times x. And we can test this. Let's see if that works. For 5, we would do 3 times 5, which is 15. Yep, that follows our pattern. So we're good to go. Let's skip to C, actually. C, in this case, we have our first number is 5, and then that results in the output being 2. When the input is 10, it results in the output being 7. 15 turns to 12, 20 turns to 17. Well, what are we doing in all those cases that's the same? And like you probably already realized, we're just simply subtracting 3 each time. So our output would be our input number minus 3. Very, very simple. And again, let's try testing it with another number. 30, let's say our input number is 30. If we subtract 3, we get 27. And that makes sense and follows the same pattern. Now let's look at B. B is a little trickier. We start with 1, we end up with 1. We start with 2, we go to 2, we end up with 4. 3 turns to 7, 4 turns to 10. Well, let's try multiplying. And remember, we have to do the same thing each time. If we multiply by 2, 2 times 2 equals 4, so that works. But 3 times 2 gives us 6, so that doesn't work. And 4 times 2 gives us 8, so that doesn't work. And 1 times 2 doesn't give us 1. So multiplying by 2 is not going to be our input-output.